Like being on a team with like Kaylin and knowing that some of the stuff in the wave that she created for like us,
Kelsey Mitchell snaps on Caitlin Clark haters. New interview goes viral. Kelsey Mitchell just exposed the real reason why Caitlin Clark's haters, including Angel Reese, can't handle her success. And what she revealed in her latest interview is sending shockwaves across the WNBA landscape. This wasn't just another post-game soundbite or casual comment. It was a bold, unapologetic declaration that marked a turning point in the league's ongoing power struggle. Right from the jump, Mitchell made it clear: the relentless hate Clark receives isn't coming out of nowhere. It's fueled by a bitter old guard clinging to control. Players like Angel Reese, who simply can't stomach the fact that a rookie has come in and stolen the spotlight. Mitchell positioned Clark not as some flash-in-the-pan phenom, but as the inevitable future of the sport. And she made sure everyone knew that the attacks on Clark aren't about her game. They're about fear, jealousy, and a desperate attempt by veterans to keep the league chained to the past. And that message hit home hard because it wasn't whispered in locker rooms. It was broadcast loud and clear for the world to hear. The locker room energy has never been this tense. Mitchell's words, delivered with rare fire and conviction, didn't just defend Clark. They ripped the mask off the so-called sisterhood of the WNBA. She called out the glaring hypocrisy, questioning how players who preach empowerment could be the same ones tearing down a rising star. Mitchell laid it all out. Caitlin Clark's rise is too big, too undeniable to be silenced by petty insults or backhanded shade. And while Reese and her camp have been quick to throw jabs, Mitchell made it clear that the real issue isn't Clark's attitude. It's the fact that no one else can match the wave she's riding. Behind the scenes, the backlash is brewing. Veterans like Reese aren't just upset, they're rattled. And Mitchell's interview just poured gasoline on a fire that's been quietly burning under the surface for months. Taking it even further, Mitchell didn't hold back when she turned her attention to the WNBA gatekeepers themselves. She slammed the insiders, veterans, and league elites who have disrespected Clark at every turn, exposing how deeply unsettled they are by Clark's arrival. Mitchell framed the attacks on Clark as part of a larger fight, not just about a player, but about who gets to control the future of women's basketball. She made it crystal clear that the resistance to Clark's stardom isn't about basketball skill. It's about politics, power, and ego. And no name loomed larger in that conversation than Angel Reese. Reese, once positioned as the face of the next generation, now finds herself painted as part of the problem, a player scrambling to hold on to relevance while Clark's star keeps rising. Mitchell didn't need to say Reese's name directly. The message was loud enough without it. The moment that flipped the entire narrative came when Chinese Ogun added fuel to the fire with snide remarks aimed at Clark's fanbase. Dismissing the excitement around Clark as nothing more than a fluke driven by hype, Ogun unknowingly handed Mitchell the perfect opportunity to strike. Mitchell didn't hesitate. With sharp, surgical precision, she fired back, refusing to let Ogun's disrespect slide under the radar. She used Ogun's own words as evidence of the bitter undercurrent festering within the league, a resentment aimed directly at Clark and anyone who dares to support her. And just like that, Mitchell tied Ogun's comments back to the long-standing pattern of shade from Angel Reese and other Clark critics. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was yet another chapter in the ongoing effort to undermine the league's brightest new star. But here's where the critics hit a wall they can't climb. Clark's impact is undeniable, and the numbers back it up. She isn't just winning games, she's rewriting the league's playbook on what star power looks like. Clark is boosting attendance figures across the board, selling out arenas that once struggled to fill seats and dominating jersey sales like no one before her. Every stat points to one fact: Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA, and no amount of jealousy, snark, or veteran resentment can change that reality. Mitchell smartly tied these facts directly into the narrative, using Clark's success as the ultimate rebuttal to every critic. And while Reese has her moments of flash, there's no comparison to the excitement Clark brings every time she steps on the court. So what's really behind the hate? Mitchell spelled it out clearly: envy, pure, unfiltered jealousy from veterans and media elites who know deep down that Clark isn't just another talented rookie. She's reshaping the league in real time. Mitchell pointed directly to Monica McNutt's own admission of jealousy as proof that even respected voices in the game aren't immune to these feelings. And while McNutt had the honesty to own up to it, players like Reese have instead chosen to double down on the bitterness. Mitchell's words drew a sharp line between those who are ready to embrace the future and those who are clinging desperately to the past. The most powerful moment of the entire interview came when Mitchell delivered what many are calling her mic drop moment. Without raising her voice, without theatrics, she calmly dismantled the anti-Clark narrative piece by piece. Quoting the now viral phrase, "Go where you're loved, not tolerated," Mitchell sent a clear message not just to Clark, but to every player who's ever felt unwelcome in spaces dominated by jealousy and resentment. While she didn't name names, the swipe at Reese and others who feel threatened by Clark's rise was impossible to miss. Mitchell cemented her role as not just a defender of Clark, but as a truth teller, a veteran willing to call out the uncomfortable, reality that many others are too afraid to admit. The internet didn't wait long to react. Social media exploded almost instantly after Mitchell's comments hit the airwaves. Fans across platforms rallied behind Clark and Mitchell, praising the honesty and courage it took to call out the league's toxic undercurrent, supporting. Clark trended for hours, while critics like Reese found themselves on the defensive, either scrambling for damage control or choosing awkward silence. Screenshots of Reese's past comments began circulating again, now framed in a whole new light. Thanks to Mitchell's scathing breakdown, the power dynamics had shifted, and the receipts were everywhere. This clash isn't just about personal beef. It's exposing a generational divide that's been bubbling under the surface of the WNBA for years. As Mitchell's words echoed, across the league, it became clearer than ever that this is more than drama. It's a battle for the soul of women's basketball. The old guard, represented by players like Reese, is being forced to confront the uncomfortable truth. They are no longer the future. Clark and her supporters are ushering in a new era of energy, excitement, and star power that the veterans can't match. And while Mitchell's comments felt like a closing argument, the story is far from over. Because if Reese and her allies thought Mitchell's words would be the final nail in this controversy, they were dead wrong. The closing moments of the interview only amplified the growing divide, leaving fans with one undeniable takeaway. The old WNBA culture is crumbling, and a new era, powered by Clark's undeniable presence, is taking over. But the question remains, will Reese and the rest of the old guard adapt, or will they be left behind? This war of words is just getting started, and Angel Reese might not survive the fallout. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the realest takes on the WNBA drama. Kelsey Mitchell has officially set the WNBA on fire after unleashing a bold, no-nonsense response that completely dismantles the toxic narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark, leaving Clark's haters stunned and scrambling for cover. In her explosive interview, Mitchell didn't just defend Clark. She exposed the jealousy, the hypocrisy, and the desperate attempts by certain players and analysts to downplay the rookie's record-shattering impact on the league. But what truly caught the world's attention wasn't just Mitchell's words, it was the immediate fallout for Angel Reese, who has now been pushed into full meltdown mode as Clark's star continues to rise. Reese, already known for her petty antics and desperate attempts to stay relevant, couldn't handle the heat. Her social media rants and awkward interviews only made things worse, painting the clear picture of a player unraveling in real time. As the spotlight she craved slips further away, and the timing couldn't be worse for Reese because Caitlin Clark's influence is only growing stronger, shaking the very foundation of the WNBA's old guard. Mitchell's words hit like a hammer, calling out the league's stubborn resistance to change and the double standards that have plagued the conversation all season. The old excuses, that Clark was just hype, that she couldn't handle the pros, are crumbling under the weight of undeniable facts. Veterans who once sat quietly on the sidelines are now speaking out, and the target of their frustration isn't Clark, it's Angel Reese. Recent footage and behind-the-scenes leaks show former allies of Reese pulling away, no longer willing to tie their names to the chaos and drama that follow her every move. And as Clark continues to pack arenas and deliver jaw-dropping performances, the numbers tell a brutal truth. Fever games are selling out, ratings are smashing records, merchandise is flying off the shelves. Meanwhile, Reese's games struggle to fill seats, and her so-called influence is nowhere to be found. This isn't just a popularity contest, it's a financial reality that the league can't ignore. The brands and sponsors know it too. Word is spreading fast that major companies are quietly backing out of deals with Reese, unwilling to gamble their reputation on a player sinking deeper into controversy. Endorsements that once seemed locked in are vanishing, and even her closest supporters are going radio silent. It's a stunning fall from grace that no amount of social media spin can fix. Behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark's legal team has been just as sharp, ready with hard evidence to shut down every false accusation Reese and her camp have thrown their way. Emails, text messages, leaked videos, receipts that prove Clark isn't the villain Reese tried to make her out to be, but the true victim of a smear campaign gone horribly wrong. And as more footage continues to surface, Reese's credibility takes hit after hit, one clip after another. Each piece of evidence directly contradicts the stories she's been telling, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering how much longer she can keep the act going. The league itself is quietly making moves, shifting promotional focus toward Clark while Reese fades into the background. WNBA marketing campaigns and highlight reels are featuring Clark front and center, while Reese's presence grows smaller and smaller. It's clear where the league sees its future, and Reese is being left behind. All of this comes to a head with one undeniable conclusion. Angel Reese's downfall is entirely of her own making. She thought she could tear Caitlin Clark down with lies and drama, but in the end, all she did was destroy her own reputation. And as Clark stands stronger than ever, backed by teammates like Mitchell and fueled by the truth, Reese is left watching her career crumble, the architect of her own disaster.